Welcome into the Oh Health Yeah podcast, brought to you by Healthy is Wellness. As you all know, our mission is to empower you to take control of your health and elicit a little bit of curiosity in your life when it comes to the world of wellness. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And if you have loved ones or friends that you think would benefit from this, share it with them. Let's get this thing going. Howdy, 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 Healthy is Wellness family. We are back with another episode. Today, we're going to talk about goal setting into 2026 and the way that we frame goal setting at Healthy is Wellness. We'll dive through kind of our rough draft framework of how we set goals and how we help our clients set goals. And then at the end, we'll write down we'll talk about some common things that we see with our clients that help them to achieve these goals as they go throughout the course of the year. Starting at the top, we believe goal setting is based around a roadmap concept. And this roadmap is something that we talk a lot about within our program. We use the Maps app analogy. And if you've been into CS, you've heard this before. But when you utilize the Maps app on your phone, the first thing it needs to know is where you at. It figures that out via the location services on the device. When it comes to goal setting, we believe in the same concepts. When you are first trying to set a goal, first you need to know where you're at. And that where you're at concept of things could be emotional, it could be a body composition thing, it could be anything in the world. But whatever goal you're trying to create, the first thing you need to do is establish where you at when it comes to that goal. The second thing that the Maps app does is it figures out where you want to go. That's when you put the address in that you're headed to. With us, we are the same exact way. And when it comes to goal setting, it's the same concept. To establish your goal or your plan, the second thing we need to know is where do you want to go? That could be a body composition goal. That could be I want to work out X days a week. That could be I want to be able to do X, Y, or Z with my kids by the end of the year. That goal could be anything in the world. But the second thing that we need to figure out is where do you want to go? And then the third thing that the Maps app does, this is when it creates the route for you, is it helps you to get there. And that's where the plan side of things comes in. The number one barrier that stops people from achieving their goals is not having a plan. And so these three simple steps help us to identify and craft plans with our clients. And we believe that it's a great way to frame goal setting going into 2026. Where are you at? Where do you want to go? And how do you want to get there? So we can use an example. I'll use an example of clients that we see. We have clients that come in to see us, and let's say they want to gain muscle mass. This was one of my goals last year. I wanted to gain 5 pounds of muscle. That was my focus. First thing I needed to do when it comes to where you at, I needed to get a body composition scan to be able to see, okay, where am I at with my muscle mass today? The second thing that I needed to do is establish where do I want to go. That was that numerical focus that I had of 105 pounds. That was my focus. And then the third thing that I needed to do was establish how do I want to get there and create a plan. And that plan is really where the nitty and the gritty side of things comes into play. My plan included making protein-rich snacks convenient, lifting up my son every once in a while when I was babysitting, or not babysitting, doing my dad duty. I would lift up my son every once in a while and do little curls with him, like little habits that I could instill in my life to send my body a signal to build muscle mass. And then as you figure out how you want to get there, we like to identify barriers and accelerators. Barriers are things that hold you back. Accelerators are things that push you. But being able to identify those things help you to make sure that the plan that you're creating is going to be able to be fulfilled and maximized. Barriers that we incorporate in people's lives or hear about in people's lives, maybe it's, I got my brother's birthday coming up and I'm going to have cake and ice cream. Great. Have those things. That's a barrier. But how can you push forward? What are you going to do when those things occur? We talk a lot about, I use this analogy. If somebody was to get a flat tire, they're driving down the road. Do they get out and slash the other 3 tires of the car? No, they fix the flat. They get back on the road. So what we hope to do with clients is identify barriers and accelerators that might help them either help them achieve their goal or hold them back from achieving their goal, and make sure that we forecast that into their plan. And then we also talk a lot about accountability partners. As you establish these goals and you establish a plan that's going to help you achieve that goal, can you share it with other people? And studies have shown that you sharing your goal with one person doubles the chances of you actually being able to achieve that goal. So the framework of goal setting for us, establishing that roadmap, identifying barriers and accelerators, and then sharing it with the people around you. Share it with accountability partners. Share it with us if you're one of our clients. We want to help you achieve that goal, and the more you share, the higher the chances of succeeding. Zach, what do you have to add when it comes to goal setting?
What barriers have you faced? And not to minimize the things that you've been through, but I'm not talking about your car battery being dead. I want you to get like nitty gritty, like becoming a father and your health, and like coming from being a collegiate athlete, which is a way of life, into this next chapter of your life, which is night and day difference from what you had done for years and years and years. What was the biggest barrier for you?
Oh, I think from a fatherhood perspective, having kids, the sleep has been a huge barrier for me. And even coming back to that like body composition goal of muscle gain. Like I was shooting for 105 pounds of muscle. When we sleep, our body secretes growth hormone, as you know. And having kids, my sleep went to the wayside big time. So I think one of the biggest barriers in my life was sleep. And then another barrier that comes to my mind with you asking that question is prioritizing. Like the children became my number one priority. It wasn't the exercise, it wasn't the nutrition. So I love my kids to death, but they became a barrier when it came to achieving that goal. And so getting around those barriers, like how can I work out with the kids in the room, or how can I lift Oaken up? Like I was saying, like incorporating little tiny things. But the sleep deprivation and the kiddos actually are two barriers. But at the same time, flipping that on its head, the kids are actually an accelerator too, because they motivate me to do that for them.
How were you able to implement the accountability part of the equation into that barrier? I feel like that's kind of an interesting one because, obviously you have Kenny, but Kenny's going through the same thing you are, not being able to sleep.
Yeah. The accountability side of things helped me when we did it as a healthy as wellness team. I don't know if you remember, but Misty brought in those little cloud things and we all wrote down goals and we shared it with each other. And so our five or six coaches, we shared with each other what we were trying to achieve. And you guys were aware of that. And you guys pushed me quite a bit too, bringing it up. How's your muscle journey going? Like, okay, got that side of things helped me a lot.
I think sleep deprivation is an incredibly prevalent thing, especially in parents. I think that's going to be really relatable for our listeners. So,
and the more that you can maximize it too, it's so difficult because when we are trying to sleep and the kiddos are crying or you got kiddos laying in bed with you, it's something you can't control. So what things can you control? And like the little habit that you know that I use is the mouth tape. Like I will tape my mouth every night when I go to sleep and it helps me to get more restful sleep patterns. So that's another little thing that helped me when it came to the barrier of sleep or sleep deprivation.
Do not disturb. Your phone's always on D&D after 8 p.m.
Dude, do not disturb. Do not disturb after 8 o'clock. That definitely works.
Gus is not alive to the rest of the world. That's your 8 p.m.
I'm trying to sleep. You know that.
Yeah. We had him out the other night filming a podcast at Albertsons, and he probably didn't get to bed till 10:30.
Yeah, I was struggling.
That was rough. I felt for him a little bit.
That got me a little bit.
I bet. He had to be up next day at 5.
Yeah, it was early.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I appreciate those times, and I have fun doing that stuff with you. Our goal setting wise, another thing that I want to add that I didn't have on this list, write it down, like pen to paper. If you're establishing goals, whether it's a health goal or whether it is a personal goal within your life, the more that you can write these things down, the higher the likelihood of you achieving them. And it actually helps to create this plan. So as you're doing this roadmap, establishing where you're at, where you want to go, and how do you want to get there, and putting the pen to paper. Write these things down. It'll increase the likelihood of you achieving these goals. And throughout the journey of 2026, trying to achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve, let us know how we can help. We're here to help in any way that we can, whether it's health and wellness or whether it's something else. Please reach out to us if we can help in any way. Good luck with your goals in 2026, and thanks so much for tuning in.